93rd minute. Seattle Stadium, Iran score. The stadium erupts. Second place in Group G, automatic qualification right there in their hands. Then VAR steps in and takes it all away. The match, Egypt versus Iran, Group G, June 26, Seattle. The stakes could not have been higher. Second place meant a guaranteed spot in the round of 32. Iran needed a result, and in the dying seconds of stoppage time, Shoja Khalilzadeh struck the ball into an empty net and gave them exactly that. For about 30 seconds, referee Simon Marciniak raised his hand. Offside. Score stays 1-1. Iran finished third. Automatic qualification gone. Iranian players swarm the referee in disbelief on the pitch. But if you think this is just a story about one offside call, you have no idea what this team has already been through to get to that moment. Let's go right back to the beginning. So let's break down exactly what happened inside that ruling, because the detail matters. Wild scramble inside the Egyptian box. The ball breaks to Shoja Khalilzadeh. He hammers it into an empty net. Iranian players flood the pitch. 30 seconds of pure, uncut joy. Then come the lines. Referee Simon Marciniak steps forward. Number 4 of Iran scored a goal from an offside position. Final decision, offside. No explanation, no breakdown. A hand in the air, and 30 seconds of Iranian joy wiped clean. On the surface, this looks routine. Technology runs the lines, technology decides, you move on. But the second you look at what that ruling involved, you realize this was one of the most complex offside decisions you will ever see at a World Cup. Here is what most people watching saw. Egyptian defender Yasser Ibrahim was clearly behind Khalilzadeh when the ball arrived. One defender behind the scorer. Natural read, onside. Simple. Here is what most people watching missed. Ibrahim was the last Egyptian outfield player, not the second last. Goalkeeper Mostafa Shobair had come off his line and was already ahead of Khalilzadeh when the ball was played. That changes everything. Under FIFA's offside rule, the second-last opponent sets the line, not the last. With Shobair advanced, Ibrahim became that reference point. Khalilzadeh was fractionally ahead of him. Offside. By the naked eye, completely invisible. And then it goes deeper. The call was not made on Khalilzadeh's shot. Under FIFA Law 11, offside is judged at the first teammate's touch that begins the sequence. An earlier aerial flick-on had already placed 2 Iranian attackers past the second-last defender. They were not shooting, they were not controlling the ball, but they were blocking Egypt from clearing. That made them active. That made the entire chain offside. Matteo Bonetti of Fox Sports, a stadium mid-roar, a winner in the net, erased by a digital line measuring a fraction of a sprinting body you would need a microscope to argue. Technically correct. Visually, almost impossible to follow in real time. For Iran, the cruelest way a night could end. And here is the thing. The Seattle decision was not the first time. Rewind 5 days. June 21st, Los Angeles. Belgium versus Iran, Group G, Match Day 2. Iran coming in off a draw with New Zealand, needing a result, needing something to grab onto. 25th minute. Iran win a free kick about 35 yards from goal. Ehsan Haji Safi steps up. Everyone expects a shot. Instead, he plays a quick, disguised pass directly through the Belgian defensive wall. Not a shot, a pass. Mehdi Taremi receives it on the other side and drills a low finish into the net. The kind of goal you watch 3 times. Analysts called it one of the most inventive goals of the 2026 World Cup. VAR steps in. Taremi was offside when the pass was played. 4 Iranian players offside in total at the moment. Haji Safi's foot connected. And there was a second issue on top of that. 1 Iranian player had been standing within 1 meter of the Belgian defensive wall, which is illegal under FIFA rules. The goal was going to come off for either reason. The offside was just the quicker finding. Globally, the reaction was immediate. On Chinese social media, the clip went viral. One widely shared post, Iran's free kick goal against Belgium, arguably the most inventive goal of the 2026 World Cup so far, ruled out for being offside. What a shame. And that is the word that kept coming up. shame. Not outrage at a clear injustice. Sympathy for a team that produced something brilliant and walked away with nothing. Now the Seattle decision lands 5 days later, and Matteo Bonetti of Fox Sports said exactly what most people were thinking. It is the second time this exact gut punch has landed on Iran in one tournament. 2 goals, 2 marginal calls, 1 tournament. If it happens once, you absorb it. Football is football. These things happen. But twice, with the same team, with everything else that was already swirling around this squad off the pitch, that is when it stops feeling like coincidence and starts feeling like a story. But to understand those 2 calls, you have to understand what this team was already carrying before a single ball was kicked. Iran's United States visas were confirmed on June 5th, 10 days before their opening game against New Zealand. Not weeks, not months. 10 days to get an entire squad into the host country. It got worse. Several coaches and officials had visa applications rejected outright. Among those denied, Mehdi Taj, president of the Football Federation of Iran. The highest football official in the country, barred from watching his own team play at a World Cup. United States authorities cited derogatory information on certain individuals. All players received visas. Not all personnel did. Then, the travel restrictions. Barred from entering the United States more than 24 hours before each match. Required to leave immediately after every game. Same night. No overnight recovery, no preparation window. Iran asked to arrive 2 days early and leave 1 day later. Every part of that request was denied. Their solution? Move the entire training base to Tijuana, Mexico, commuting across the border for every group game. After the opener against New Zealand, which ended around 8 p.m. local time, the entire delegation crossed back into Mexico that same night. Former Iran head coach Afshin Ghotbi said it plainly. Just the fact that you cannot be in the country you are playing in can create a psychological stress and a logistical stress that is hard to measure. And that was before February. The United States and Israel launched military strikes on Iran. Training sessions disrupted, practice tournaments canceled, players inside the country and those playing abroad split and unable to consolidate before the World Cup even started. Head coach Amir Galanoe personally reached out to all 47 other World Cup coaches, asking them to speak out publicly. Not one coach responded. His words, "We are here for football, not politics." And yet, after 2 games without defeat, he said something that keyed through all of it. I don't think any team in the world could have sustained such conditions and played like this. And he was not wrong. Iran did not stay quiet. They fought back. The Football Federation of Iran filed a formal complaint with FIFA over the travel restrictions. Their position, the conditions imposed on their delegation, were inconsistent with the principles of providing equal conditions for all participating teams. FIFA President Gianni Infantino was made aware. Galanoe had expressed optimism that FIFA would intervene before the Egypt match in Seattle. FIFA did not change a single restriction. The U.S. response came from official Andrew Giuliani. The goal, he said, was competitive fair play on the field while maintaining national security priorities. His words, "The president wants to make sure this tournament strikes a competitive balance while also making sure bad actors don't get into the country." National security and fair competition packaged into the same sentence. That was the official line. And then there is the referee, Szymon Marciniak, the same man who refereed the 2022 World Cup final between Argentina and France. Now under scrutiny again, not just for the Khalilzadeh disallowance, but for his overall decision-making throughout the entire Egypt match. Multiple calls flagged by analysts across the full 90-plus minutes. The offside ruling was the one that made the headlines. It was not the only one being discussed. So, where does Iran stand? 3 points, no wins, goal difference of 0. Third place in Group G. Egypt go through automatically as Group G runners-up. Iran wait. The 2026 format sends the 8 best third-place teams into the round of 32. ESPN describes Iran as most likely to make it through, but most likely is not the same as certain, and certain is what they had in their hands for 30 seconds in Seattle. Think about what the Khalilzada goal would have meant. Second place, automatic qualification. A round of 32 match against Australia in Dallas on July 3rd. Instead, a team that has never reached a World Cup knockout stage, that commuted across the Mexican border for every group game, that had 2 moments of brilliance erased by lines on a screen, sits and waits for other results to decide its fate. So, step back and look at the full picture. This was never just about one offside call. This was about a team that arrived at this World Cup having already absorbed conditions no other squad faced. Military strikes disrupting their preparation. Visas confirmed 10 days before kickoff. A training base in Tijuana, officials barred from the country. And then, twice in the same tournament, a goal that could have changed everything. Erased by a line measuring a margin the naked eye could not see. The technology was correct. The rule was applied. That is not the argument. The argument is whether this is how football should feel. Whether a World Cup moment should be decided by a frozen frame and an automated line on a sprinting body. Was the call right? Was Iran treated fairly? Drop your verdict below, subscribe, and stay close. This World Cup is not done yet.